Hey guys, Captain Mike, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. I'm excited about tonight's video. We are bringing, as you can see, the whiskey. So I'm excited about this video for two reasons. First of all, Jim Beam in the house. Like all the cool whiskey guys, they do all the cool shit. I'm gonna bleep that out. You know, they do like the high-end whiskeys. We're bringing the almost bottom shelf whiskey tonight, and we have all of it. And I'm even more excited about the fact that I'm spending this time with my good friend, John. Welcome to Whiskey and Literature.
Captain Mike, thank you for having me on your show, Whiskey and Literature. I've been watching you for quite a few episodes, by the way. You know,
you and four other people.
Started watching you from the beginning, and let me tell you, it's been a blast. And you've educated me on a lot of your whiskeys and bourbons.
It's been an education for me, and actually, you and your lovely wife, Samantha, are one of the first people that I actually mentioned this channel to, and I totally thought you guys would laugh and ridicule me when I told you about the idea.
No.
And I appreciate your support.
Absolutely.
And thanks for having us at your house here today.
Thank you.
Lovely new home on the Space Coast of Florida. Yeah. We're outside today because your house is empty.
Totally empty. We have no furniture. We just moved in, a day ago, yesterday. So on the 2nd, today's the 3rd. So you know what? It's empty, so we're outside because this is where the furniture is.
Well, it stopped raining,
Thank
at least here right now. If it starts raining, we'll take a break. Because it's like super loud and thundery.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're about 3 hours from my house. We live in the Tampa Bay, and we have Jim Beam in the house. So
It's gorgeous.
Why exactly are we drinking Jim Beam today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Captain Mike, today is we're celebrating my father, who passed away 2 years ago, and his life was really, he's a military man, obviously, 173rd Airborne. He loved his Jim Beam.
Jim Beam.
Last
White
drink.
Label.
Oh, God.
White Label.
White Label. Last drink, Jim Beam. But he loved his Jim Beam, bought cases of Jim Beam, loved it, and I continue to drink it even today.
How many cases of Jim Beam, White Label, with the handles do you think you had in your house when your dad passed away?
Okay, I'm going to say, Captain Mike, we probably had about 6 to 7 cases. I commandeered 2 of them. But 6 to 7 cases of Jim Beam. I think there's 6 bottles in a case. We still have some here with us today.
I don't think your dad would quite qualify as a prepper, but maybe.
Close.
I mean,
close.
Yeah. All right.
Not quite qualified, but close.
I do have a couple of those bottles that were your dad's, and I appreciate that. They're my they're part of my hurricane preparedness kit. So after my parents were divorced when I was 10, I appreciate all the father figures that I had in my life, and your dad was one of those guys. And as I grew older and had my own family, the example that he gave to me and my family was amazing. I appreciated him even more after I was grown than when I was a kid, which I think is what maybe most kids do. They appreciate the adults more
when they're grown up.
When they're adults as well.
Yeah. When we grow up, we appreciate them more than we do when we were growing up with them.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could be here today for a little bit of time, and we could. Do you have a favorite memory, or what's your favorite thing about your father?
I tell you, Michael, there are so many wonderful things I have as far as memories go. But Captain Mike, let me tell you, one of my best memories with him that I think about a lot is when I worked at Walt Disney World. My dad retired, and he got a job at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
And while we happened to be working at the same theme park at the same time. And we got to see the park close, obviously. We see it every night, the park close.
Yep.
Where you have the park all to yourself. But there was one particular day where me and my father had the park all to ourselves because we were actually working the same park on the same day at the same time of our shift.
Yeah.
Though I was in a totally different department.
Yeah.
He was in a totally different department. We met up on Main Street. Not a guest around, and it was beautiful. We actually got to walk the street. We didn't go towards the castle and all that, but we got to stay on the main street, and we just were awe-inspired that of all the thousands and thousands of guests that are there, we are the only 2 people standing on Main Street, USA.
At that moment.
At that moment, no one around. Music is still playing, and we actually had a moment there, and it was a very, very good time. Dad enjoyed that. He loved that moment. And that day that happened, they did a parade, and Dad was backstage, and when the actors warm up before the parade goes out, he got his own private show, and that kind of happened all in that same moment. So those are some connection that we had where we actually got to work together. That was a once in a million or a lifetime that actually our parks that we worked at would have happened at that moment.
Yeah.
And that was a very memorable moment. I have many memories. I don't want to eat up all your time on whiskey here in Whittier, but that was a very good moment for us.
That was
and
great.
We enjoyed that.
It was great. Yeah, those special moments in time, no one can ever take those away from you.
Absolutely.
I can remember Mrs. Captain and I were at your parents' lake house, and we were enjoying an evening with them, and we were going to go sit on the dock and watch the sunset. And they were like, "Hey guys, we're gonna go have a couple drinks and go sit on the dock and watch the sunset. What do you guys want to drink? We have Kool-Aid and water and orange juice in the house," because they didn't know that we were drinking at this time.
That's right.
We had just started drinking alcohol, and I looked at your dad and I said, "Johnny, Laura likes wine, and I'll have whatever you're having, man." And we went down, we watched the sunset, and then we went back in and we shared some wine and some gin and tonics and some moonshine, and what a wonderful evening that was.
Yeah.
I appreciate that night. But
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because he talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. That was such a wonderful experience for him.
Yeah.
To have a drink with you. I know you enjoyed some whiskey. Probably Jim Beam there.
Yep. And he brought out the moonshine too.
Oh God, the moonshine.
The moonshine.
And they always had moonshine, and not the stuff that you buy in the stores or at Publix or your liquor store. This is moonshine.
Yeah.
And it not only would it start your car, it would burn the hell out of your throat.
I only had a little bit. I was a little scared.
It was rough. My wife had a little bit, and I think she couldn't breathe for a week or two.
Yeah.
So it was very potent. But yeah, he talked about that quite a bit, actually.
Wow.
I think he spoke to that to my mom many times. That was a very wonderful moment that he finally got to have with you. So thank you.
I was glad to share that with him. Well, I think we should have just a little toast in his honor.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you again.
Yeah. To Johnny, a wonderful husband, father, and friend.
Absolutely. Good Jim Beam.
Good Jim Beam.
You just gotta love it.
I gotta say, honestly, let's talk about Jim Beam White for a little bit. I'll say I think that Jim Beam White smells better than it tastes.
It does.
I don't disrespect your dad at all.
No,
you know
no.
What I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest. When you smell it, it's. Man, I can actually still smell it in the glass.
Yeah.
It smells wonderful. It smells wonderful. When you go to taste it, it's spicy, but it has that little bit of burn, but it's smooth all at the same time. I don't know how to explain that correctly. Burn, smooth, feels good. Yeah. But it definitely smells better than it tastes.
Actually,
but regardless, I love it no matter what.
I actually and I was talking to Mrs. Captain about this, I was smelling, believe it or not, but peanut butter banana sandwich. All that sweet banana, some nuttiness, and that yeast from the bread, they all just coalesced in my mind as I was smelling it.
Yeah.
And I don't get any of that on the taste. But it is what it is. All right, so Jim Beam White. I paid $12.99 for this bottle. This is my second bottle of the. Actually, I've been kind of refilling this bottle from a bigger bottle.
Okay.
Of Jim Beam. So.
Hey,
and
works.
They don't say what the mash bill is on their website, and there's a couple of discrepancies that I've seen through the internet. But we know it's high corn, 75, 77%, 30% rye, and 10 or 12% malted barley. Actually, very alike Jack Daniel's mash bill. So really, this is what I think about Jim Beam. In the end, I think this whiskey is a nice mixer. And
it goes well
instead of Jack and Coke,
sure.
Jim and Coke.
Yeah.
And because I personally don't want to sip it neat, and I don't really want to put it in a cocktail, but with Coke,
that's
all
me
day,
too.
every day.
Captain Mike, that's
nice
me
80
too.
proof, and there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we have all the Jim Beams that I could find at Total Wine, and including the Old Tub, which had you even heard of Old Tub?
No, I have not heard of Old Tub until you mentioned it today.
Okay.
And I'm excited to try that one.
Have you tried Devil's Cut?
I have.
The extra aged?
No.
Rye?
No, I'm going to say no.
Double oak?
The double oak, no.
Okay. I've not tried any one of these whiskeys, and we're going to open them all tonight. And we've already opened and we're already pre-poured these whiskeys because I have learned that when I pour these whiskeys in the show, we pour them too heavy and we don't get through the video because we're already swimming.
It's okay to go a little heavy on them sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so we have the Jim Beam Devil's Cut. When whiskey sits in a barrel, it evaporates some of it. That's called the angel share. The whiskey that gets trapped in the barrel, in the wood of the barrel, that's like the devil's share, i.e. the Devil's Cut. All right, so Devil's Cut, I paid $19.99 for this bottle. It's the same mash bill, whatever it happens to be. This is 90 proof, non-age stated. Says bourbon, so we know it's at least 4 years old, but it's non-age stated. So again, they somehow extract the bourbon from the barrel, from the wood in the barrels.
Yeah.
If you know how they do it, let us know in the comments. I don't know how they get the whiskey out of the wood.
I would like to see that.
I mean, do they just press it?
You know, I have no clue how they do it, but it's super impressive on how they do it, but I can visualize it.
I have to say,
it's amazing.
I have no interest in drinking whiskey that they squeeze out of the barrel, out of the wood. I mean, just by itself. Now, they do take this whiskey and they mix it with, they don't say what exactly, they just say extra aged bourbon. So I'm assuming that's the Black Label Jim Beam, but I don't really know.
Wow.
So I expect this to be, and I've never tried this, I expect it to be very oaky and overpowering.
Press out of wood. Out of the wood.
I get that same kind of banana note on it.
It smells
just sweet.
Delicious.
Smells, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm going to go with delicious.
Wow, okay.
This is a delicious smell.
I just get almost that same Jim Beam note. I'm not getting I'm not getting the nuttiness, just some of that sweet banana note again.
I'm ready to sip.
You going in?
Oh yeah.
All right. Actually, I'm getting something else too. I don't know if that's the oak, probably. I'm looking at your face. What do you think?
That's okay. Let me get this wood splinter out of my mouth. but yeah, that's really good.
Okay or oaky?
That was a play on words. That's okay. No, that's good.
Dude, the reviews online for this have been very, very mixed. Some guys are like, oh, I love this Devil's Cut. And some guys are like, I cannot believe people drink this.
I actually enjoy this. This is wonderful. All right, and how much is left? I could drink quite a bit. I could do another round.
This
is delicious.
This has an extra layer.
For whiskey.
I'm sorry. It has an extra layer of flavor over top of the Jim Beam White, which I feel like is very thin, and it just kind of washes away. This has another overlying flavor, and maybe that's the oakiness that's on there.
It's oaky, yeah.
But that's that's my thought on it.
I love it. I love it. It's oaky.
And I wonder how this is going to taste compared to the double oaked.
Well, now is the double oak, is that pressed out of wood as well?
No. You want to get to the double oak now?
Let's try that one.
Okay.
Okay, so we go from there to there. I'm up for it.
So double oaked, and I'm a big fan of.
Really good. That's really good.
I'm going to say that's better than the Jim Beam White, but
it is.
I'm not going to say really good.
It's. All right. I prefer that one.
All right, Jim Beam Double Oak. I'm actually super. This is the whiskey I'm most excited about from this lineup, because Woodford Reserve Double Oak to me was a revelation. It's a fantastic smelling whiskey. I think it tastes great, and I freaking love Woodford Reserve Double Oak. So when I realized that Jim Beam also had a Double Oak whiskey, I couldn't wait to pick it up, and I hadn't opened it till just now. I paid $19.99 for this bottle. It's the same mash bill. So double oak just means that they age it for 4 years, then they take it out of the barrel and they pour it into a new, unused virgin oak charred barrel, and they age it. They don't say how long they age it after that first. They just age it to taste.
Wow.
Whatever that means. There's no statement on that. This is 86 proof, which I believe the Devil's Cut was 90. It's also 86.
86.
So same proof as the Devil's Cut Jim Beam Double Oaked. This is D.
Yeah.
And to keep them all separated, we pre-poured all these whiskeys, put a little bit of painter's tape on it with some letters on the back of the bottle so we can keep them straight. I feel like it's kind of the same smell as the Devil's Cut.
It has the same smell of the Devil's Cut.
I mean, let's face it, it's all like inherent, like on the base, these are all the same whiskey,
Man.
except the rye. They just do different things with it after they age it for 4 years.
I do love the story on the Devil's Cut, though.
That is pretty awesome.
The visualization. I love the story for the Devil's Cut, but
I feel like it's a pretty thin nose. I just get that underlying or overlying
oh
sweetness.
man, that's smooth. For me, that's incredibly smooth. Wow. All right, that's a little bit of a difference.
I definitely like it better than the Devil's Cut.
I do too now.
So
I do too now.
whether that is the word smooth, I would just say it. I'll give it a smooth.
Smooth.
There's a something to the Devil's Cut that we don't have here in the double oaked, and it's just a much more pleasant, almost creamy taste, I think. Certainly over the Jim Beam White. And
By far.
There's a harshness to the Devil's Cut.
Very harsh.
That's missing in the
This
double
is
oaked.
smooth.
Dude, I am a fan. I actually bought some more double oak whiskeys, and I'm going to do just a double oak challenge because I like the Woodford Reserve so much. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I liked it. This is smooth.
Okay,
All
great.
right, I'm a fan of this.
Okay. That's a good transition, you know? All right, so... Okay, so now on to the
Do I look like a ghost?
You are pretty white.
Yeah, I'm pretty
All right.
white looking.
Jim Beam, black label, extra aged. So as far as I can tell, this is white label, just older.
Yeah.
And it used to be age stated, 8 years old, but now it's, we think 6 years. But they don't really say. They just say it's extra aged.
It's extra age. So you don't have a specific year.
There's no actually, it's not age stated. They don't say how old it is, but it's thought to be 6 years old.
Okay.
So it's been in the barrel for 2 years old, longer.
All right.
Still 1999, 86 proof, and that's number B.
I'm glad I was
Or
able to
letter
say the
B.
word specific after having all this.
That was very good.
That's a very tough word
I think
to
we've
say.
been really good here
Specific.
on limiting our drinking
All right.
so far.
I'm doing...
So what do you think? I feel like it's a stronger nose than the white label.
Definitely.
I feel like it has more. It's more. That's the right word.
Let's just go with more. But no,
More Jim Beam in
It
the
does
nose.
smell. You want to just say it's more beamier, or
Yeah.
but it smells really good.
More beamier.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's
Yeah.
trademarked.
You trademarked
I'm
that?
gonna trademark that right now. It's more
Okay.
beamier. Now that's interesting. Okay.
So how much Jim Beam white label have you had in your life?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
How much black label have you had? Have you had any but all?
I have not.
Okay. This is like my third bottle maybe worth of white label.
The white label, like I said, a lot. Had a pile of that.
Yeah. So I not a whole lot of experience with Jim Beam. I do feel like the black label is the white label, just better.
It is better. It is better.
Like honestly, if you pour me
I mean, what was the price on this one?
$19.99.
$19.99.
White
And
label's $12.99. So would you pay $7 more for the black label?
I probably would not.
Wow. Okay.
No, take that back. I would.
Okay, would you pay $7 more for the double oak than the white label?
I would.
Yeah, no question.
No question.
So you're hesitating
down.
on the black label.
Yeah.
It's better, but not $7 better.
Maybe not $7 better.
I mean, that's more than 50% more.
It is 50%.
Yeah,
more.
it's a
We're getting in
50% better than the white label. No, you don't think so?
hang on a second. Let me have another sip.
Have another sip.
Sun's out.
I think it's better. If you say percentage-wise, it's
All right.
not 50% better than the white label. Do you like to sip this? Would you want to sip this neat?
Okay, Captain Mike,
Yes.
I will sip that.
Neat. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I do like it. Now with the white label, I would want to mix that. I'm sorry, I would want to mix
Okay.
that. So this I would sip neat, and the more I'm tasting it, and man, I'm enjoying this.
But
I'm really enjoying this.
black label versus double oak.
Double oak for sure.
Okay.
I'm sorry, double oak for sure.
Okay.
I really prefer the double oak. If I had to choose, it'd definitely be the double oak right here. I really enjoy that one.
I agree with you.
That's a fantastic whiskey right here.
Okay. On to the rye.
I'm ready for the rye.
Are you a rye guy?
I am not a rye guy, but I want to be convinced or change me. I want to try it. I am not a rye.
I'm not going to say big
I know
rye
Mrs.
people,
Captain
but
is, right?
Mrs. Captain.
I hear Mrs. Captain loves rye.
Yes, if we're going to drink a whiskey, if she's going to drink a whiskey, we're going to drink a rye. If we're going to drink a bourbon, we prefer a high rye bourbon. I mean, I'm happy to drink, Buffalo Trace or whatever, all that stuff. Low rye mash bills are fine. But I do like a little bit of that dryness and spiciness that you get with a rye. So I've been excited to try this Jim Beam rye since I bought it. And I just opened it today. I've never tried it.
Never tried it?
Okay, again,
totally excited.
$19.99, mash bill unknown. So I don't really know, is it 100% rye? I don't think it says on the bottle anywhere. 90 proof, non-age stated, but it's believed to be at least 4 years old.
4 years old.
That's all we know about the rye.
And these whiskeys here, these are affordable for anybody.
They're all affordable.
Really, these are affordable for anybody, and I really do enjoy them.
Okay, so
all right, I'm excited.
Jack Daniel's
excited for this rye. I'm ready to try
Pre-Prohibition style rye. That to me is just like it's just marketing gimmick,
I'm ready.
right? That's all it is, really.
It is.
But I'm excited for this one. Okay, a little bit of spice on the nose there. I don't have that sweetness that I've been getting with all 4 of these other
this
whiskeys.
One's totally different.
There's none of that sweetness there at all. You went in already.
I did.
What do you think?
It's.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm getting my thoughts together. Take another.
There's
double take.
There's none of that sweetness that I've gotten with the Jim Beam. There's none of that banana note, that nuttiness note. None of that. I just get a little bit of.
It hits you hard, quick.
It's kind of a.
That's when.
It's kind of a weak rye. Unfortunately, like compared to say the High West Double Rye, the Bullet Rye, that stuff punches you in the face. We have the same.
It is pretty quick when you with your High West.
I can't get through a video without mentioning the High West Double Rye.
The High West. I'm a fan of High West thanks to this guy right here. He tuned me on High West. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really. But I don't dislike it. I gotta say I don't dislike this at all, Captain Mike. I don't dislike this.
Thanks, John. It's a good rye, and I mean for $19.99. If you don't like ryes, this is a rye for you because it just it's much more subtle than, again, High West, Bullet Rye, Redwood Empire, any of these high rye ryes. This is nice and gentle.
Yeah, it's
gentler.
And gentle. Let's go with gentler. Sounds like your.
This is a gentle rye.
I want a gentle
Yeah.
That could go wrong.
I'm happy to drink this.
I don't dislike it. I'm gonna tell you, I don't dislike it. And you said under $20.
$19.99.
That's not.
Did you hear that?
I would do it.
That was nice. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Yeah. I mean, High West Double Rye is $29 to $39 for a High West Double Rye. Bullet Rye is like $22. So that's a pretty good deal. I will say, I think High West Double Rye is twice as good as this rye. It's a high rye. So
it is.
And
but I do like this. I do like it.
But for $19.99,
for not having rye, this is the first time I've had this, and for me, I enjoyed it.
I think it's a nice.
I do. I enjoy
gentle rye.
It is. It's smooth, little burn, smooth, good.
Have you ever heard of Old Tub?
Tell me. No, I have not. Tell me the story about Old Tub.
Old Tub. Unfiltered.
Now, I have family that lives in Bullitt County or Shepherdsville, Kentucky, and they just don't. I mean, they're only miles away from Jim Beam. Now, and you told us about the Old Tub.
Yes.
I know when you mentioned that, my wife called over to her father, asked about it. He knew all about it. I did not. I did not know the story.
So I heard about this from another whiskey channel, Bourbon Real Talk. One of the guys was mentioning this, and when I was thinking about this Jim Beam video, so the Old Tub came to mind, and I looked at it, and I realized it does say Jim Beam on the front, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's unfiltered. This is bottled and bond, which is 100 proof. Of course, all bottled and bond. So this is the highest proof of all the whiskeys we have here. And this is named after when they first started distilling at Jim Beam. They put their mash in big tubs, old tubs, and that's where the name comes from. So you haven't had it. I haven't had it. So
can't wait to smell that.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Old tub.
Thank you. Oh man,
I like it.
Sweet.
It's back to that.
Oh man,
Jim
that
Beam
went.
nose.
Yeah, that went.
It's funny. We've gone through all the bourbons here, then to the rye, now back to a bourbon.
I'm excited.
Okay. 100 proof.
Okay.
So bottle and bond,
Wait,
of course.
Wait, you say 100 proof?
100 proof. Well,
shit.
Again, it's bottled and bond, so that means it is. It's a bourbon. It's at least 4 years old.
Good.
It's 100 proof. It's distilled in a single season at a single distillery, and it's aged in a federally bonded warehouse. That's the definition of bottle and bond, at least from my understanding. So
I love the education I get from your program.
Thanks.
I really do. All right, I'm
I
gonna
learned
go
it all from the whiskey tubes.
I'm going in.
That's a nice nose.
Ooh. Smooth.
You can definitely tell it's the highest proof of all the whiskeys.
That's an ass kicker.
I feel like at the beginning.
That's an ass kicker.
At the
I'm
beginning,
glad we ended on this one.
I get the same note as I get on the other Jim Beam bourbons, and then that fire kicks in. That little bit of the proof just kicks in afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not lighting me up. It's not Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
Ooh.
You know, I just bought another whiskey, 137.8 proof. It's not that, but it has some kick that all these here are missing.
I tell you, by smelling this, Captain Mike, you would not think it has the burn that it does.
No, it
smells sweet.
It's a nice nose like all the other Jim Beams, I would say, but you get.
Damn, it has.
I feel like it's a better palate. Yeah. You know, you get that initial Jim Beam taste, and then you have some of that kick at the end.
And then it's like a fire now.
It's not.
But I want to hit it again. For me, that's like a kick. Well, remember, I don't drink a whole lot of these, except the one up front there. Love that white label. But
yes,
first time, my palate may be a little different. Obviously, everyone's is.
Absolutely.
Oh man, that has a.
I get some of the same notes as I get on the Jim Beams, but it's just more pronounced and better, and I get a little bit of that proof is carrying through, and it's a little. I feel like some of these are a little thin, and I feel like this is not as thin a whiskey.
That's
maybe a little creamier, just a little bit.
I would say creamier.
Okay. I just inception your mind.
I like that word.
Yeah.
And I'm playing on you because you're giving me the words, and that's a good description.
Okay, you've drank a lot of Jim Beam. I've had the white label. It's the only Jim Beam I've had before.
Same here.
After this tasting of these 6 Jim Beam products, do you have a favorite? I do.
I do have a favorite, and I'm going to go with the double oak.
Double oaked.
That is my favorite out of all these right here. Is that double oak right there, and I am enjoying this one.
Okay.
I really am enjoying it. It's a challenge that I want to take on.
Oh, nice.
So I do love this one, but this is going to be my winner of everything that you have selected here today. This is my winner. I really do enjoy the double oak.
Nice.
I really do.
I'm
sorry, Dad, but I really do enjoy this double oak. It's really good.
Yeah.
And you would too. You would enjoy this one too. So.
I think you would have.
He would.
I mean, it's unquestionably better than the white label.
It is. It is.
And it's only $7 more. Even someone like Johnny would be willing to say it's $7 better.
Yeah, he would definitely spent the money on this, and if he got the chance to do it. Parsimonious. That is the word. Absolutely.
You're welcome.
He would have done it. He would have spent the money. He would have got some cases of this one. He never got to try this, and I know he never got to try this, but he would have enjoyed this one by far better than what we've done today. He would have enjoyed this one right here for sure. For sure.
And you know, I can't fault you for your choice, but I would actually put the old tub ahead of the double oak slightly, just because I like the little bit higher proof. Just gives a little extra kick to me than the double oak.
I just finished it off, and I got that kick. That's why I'm gonna have a little bit of water. But
I mean,
it's not bad at all.
If I had to rank
my
them,
favorites are these two. They are my favorites.
I would go Old Tub, Double Oaked, Rye, Extra Aged, and then
the white label. I hate to say, it's probably going to be towards the end.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But now after tasting what I've tasted today, the white label, it's going to be back towards the end of my my favorite list for today. But these two are definitely my favorite. The Double Oak, by far, I really enjoyed.
Okay.
The Old Tub, I would go with these, for sure. For sure.
Well,
the
John,
rye, I did enjoy the rye. I haven't had a rye. That would be, I'm going to go in my third. Devil's Cut is probably, I am not going to ever get that again. That's why I'm glad I had that after the white label to experience the Devil's Cut. I thought it was delicious at the beginning, but the more you experience what is available to you to get consumer-wise, I'm going to take the Devil's Cut off the list for
I don't
sure.
think you need to buy the Devil's Cut or the Extra Aged.
You don't.
Just don't buy these.
Don't.
If you want a cheap mixer, low proof, buy the white label.
Yep.
If you want something, the best Jim Beam product, buy the Old Tub and the Double Oaked.
For sure.
And if you like rye, you want to experiment, buy the rye.
For sure.
Don't even buy these and you're fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't waste your money on that one, for sure.
Dude, I appreciate you allowing us into your house today.
Michael, thank you for having me, Captain Mike. I appreciate you.
Thanks for sharing my whiskey with me and your thoughts.
I'm glad I enjoyed your whiskey with you. Thanks for bringing the whiskey.
You know, I'm continually amazed as, again, I've only been drinking whiskey for maybe 4 or 5 years, and both at work, and I have plenty of whiskey discussions with guys. I know I bag on them sometimes, it seems like. I do learn a lot from the guys I work with, and I just work with a guy who spent 2 or 3 days doing the Bourbon Trail, and we talked for 6 or 8 hours about whiskey at work while we were working professionally as well. And I do learn a lot from those guys and get a lot of good ideas. But I do have some friends and coworkers who have been drinking many more decades than I have, and they just drink the white label, or they drink Evan Williams just all the time. And so I think it's great to have shared this with you. Yeah. Thanks for allowing us.
Absolutely. And this is why your show is so good, because you're introducing us to different brands that we get. Here's the problem. We do get stuck on a certain bourbon whiskey that we enjoy, that we like, and we never kind of stretch out. And by watching your program, by your videos, we're able to experience, we're experiencing something a little bit different that, we need to stretch it out. I would never have tried this Double Oak. I probably would never have bought it. Yeah. If it wasn't for you bringing it, I'll be honest, I would never have bought it. I would walk right by it, not have bought it, not realizing this is damn good. Yeah. And I will now buy this.
Really good.
And I will buy this. And this is why I'm glad you do it.
Well, I'm glad we could share this experience. Me too. And again, the first rule of reading is the same as the first rule of drinking. Read what you like and drink what you like. So if you're like one of my coworkers and you want to drink Evan Williams all the time, drink Evan Williams. If you want to drink white label, drink the white label. But at least occasionally branch out a little bit and you might find something that you actually really enjoy. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys,
thank you, Captain Mike.
I hope I'm going to pour a little bit more Old Tub in here.
Oh,
to finish the show off. If you like a little more,
I'll do a little dab more. I'm not going to say no. So absolutely, it's
can't say no to the Old Tub.
I ain't gonna say no to the Old Tub.
All right, my guys. I hope you are reading something good and drinking something great. Turn to the pages, my friends, and stay thirsty. Cheers.
Damn, that's good shit.
Good. Well, thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Nice job. Welcome.